Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Howdy all y'all. This is red.olaughlin on Talking Heads on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. We're 6 days out from Christmas 2024 and really looking forward to today's show because I'm talking about a topic, heart health. That is something that's near and dear to me. I had the invitation to go to Vietnam a long time ago, and yes, they did have Agent Orange there, and yes, I was at a couple of bases that had it, and yes, 50, 60 years later, 50 years later, whatever it is, 1 year, I'm perfectly fine. Go in, get a stress EKG stress test, everything, nuclear, perfectly good as far as cardiac assessment. And lo and behold, in just a few years after that, things started going haywire, and it is what it is. So anything I can do to improve something, to tweak something backwards, to do whatever, it all helps. It's all part of that big scheme and thing. So that's also another reason why I'm doing a follow-up each week going into the new year from a show I did about 5, 6 weeks ago on let's get ready for 2025 now. Don't start January 1st. And when I get to that slide, I will tell you why, because it's been an interesting week. But that being said, let me go ahead and get my slides lined up here. The USA Global TV and Radio Network on the Talking Heads version. We're on Amazon Fire, Zizzle TV, E360 TV, Android TV, Amazon. I think I mentioned Amazon Fire. Yeah, I did. Android, Roku TV. We're on a lot of places live streaming. We're also on a lot of places on podcast too. So just a myriad of places to find it live or recorded. And you can always go to the archives in YouTube and look up USA Global TV and find all our past archives. So with that being said, let me go ahead and get to the next slide. Okay, disclaimer, I'm a researcher. I have never been in the medical field, never been in the pharmaceutical field. I love chemistry though. I fell in love with it in high school. I got my first degree in it. I have a total of 5 academic degrees, all different locations, different subjects, 7 professional certifications. I'm a retired Navy captain, naval flight officer, flew for 16 years, 31 years total in the Navy, 61 countries. It's interesting. I said I do to the Navy on a Sunday. I said I do to my wife the following Wednesday night. And 31 years with the Navy and 56 years and still counting with my wife. So I'm pretty proud of that. My research deals with cause and effect relationships. I believe if you treat the cause, you can probably fix the problem. But if you're just treating symptoms, yeah, maybe you feel better, look better, whatever. But the underlying cause is still there. It may not manifest itself into symptoms, but it's still there and you may have problems. My wife and I have been married 56 years. We have 2 kids, 3 grandkids, and we were blessed this year with our first great-grandson. He'll be 1 year old in January. I'm the best-selling author, 8 books, also an independent publisher, distinguished Toastmaster, a writer. I have written over 1,000 original content articles on LinkedIn, about 1,500 on my website. And as always, the information I present today is for educational purposes only, awareness. So that being said, let's move on. Okay, the program I started 6, 7 weeks ago was my personal health dashboard that I'm being held accountable to my audience. Each week I'm going to publish what happened. I started at 195.3. Today I'm at 198.2. Well, good news and bad news. Well, good news is I survived another Christmas party. I have one tonight and another one Saturday. Then I can stop eating the wrong kinds of foods. But I, like everyone else, have a tendency to overindulge, and that's obviously what's happened there. I was down 5 pounds less than this not a few days ago, a week or back. But things happen. Enjoy life. Don't look at it as I'm a failure. Look at it as I only failed for this event, and I can look back with certainty. Okay, I know what caused it. I'm not worried about it. My BMI, body mass indicator, today was 30. When I started, 29.6. Not too concerned about that a little bit. My body fat started at 35.5. Today it's 35.8. Subcutaneous fat, same thing, barely up a little bit. The one I'm really and truly interested in more than anything else is the visceral fat. That is something that's super important to me. I'm going up a little bit on that one. And basal metabolic rate, again, up a little bit. But I was doing some research today for another topic that I had a guy on that we interviewed on Corner Bookstore. And I was on YouTube looking at a video of one of the people that he had in his forward of his book. And off to the side, there was, for whatever reason, it came up, best foods for visceral fat. So obviously I had to go over there and look at that. And I just, whoa, that's kind of interesting. You can actually lose fat around your gut and not lose visceral fat. You can lose visceral fat and not lose any weight at all. A lot of things there I didn't fully understand, but little by little, I'm starting to get into the world. But that's not our topic today. Again, embarrassed, yeah. A big issue, no. But the big issue is I'm getting this all out of the way before the 1st of January. So all my failures are in the past. But anyway, we're going to cruise into first year, get myself back on schedule, and we'll see what happens. So anyway, if you go talk to your doctor, and you should, if you have any heart issues at all, or you want to change something in regard to your life, absolutely, positively talk to your doctor first. If you're going to change, do a new exercise program that you haven't been doing, get somebody who's a professional to talk to you first. But they're going to basically tell you the same thing, depending on who you go to, how well versed they are in cardiac medicine. But they're going to say get regular blood tests. Well, for me, that's CRP, homocysteine, and all the other normal blood tests. We'll talk about some of those down the road. They're going to tell you lower your fructose, because that's a major problem with heart health and liver health. Reduce your grains, increase your exercise. Ubiquinol, it's CoQ10 is typically the way you see it. Ubiquinol is the actual molecule, but your body converts it to what's called ubiquinone. So if you're out there buying it and you see two different bottles and one is $10, one's $30, the $30 one is worth the investment, because you're going to get a whole lot more absorbed into the body than you will at the lower price container. Increase your vitamin D3 or vitamin K2. I'm doing 3 to 5 blood pressure checks a day because I have some hypertension issues. Never smoked, but if you are, absolutely one of those things you get rid of. Reduce your alcohol completely, or at least down to, I would say, half a glass a day, whatever the normal is. Cut back on that one. Lifestyle, that is what controls every aspect of your health. So that's something to be aware of. Moving right along. Okay, so what are some of the causes of heart disease? Well, there's probably about 20. I've written about them in one of my books, Longevity Secrets for Healthy Aging. I think I covered 17 in that particular book. But oxidized cholesterol, it's not the cholesterol. It's the cholesterol that's oxidized, your free radical damage. That's what causes the plaque. The cholesterol is needed in every cell in your body. It's needed by so many different things. But when it gets oxidized, then we start having plaque issues. Hypertension is like a headache. There are so many things that cause hypertension. We'll talk about a few today. Excess insulin or glucose, that's your pre-diabetic to diabetes end of things, also has an effect on your heart health. Elevated triglycerides, it can be from a number of things. We'll talk about that, as we do with homocysteine. AGEs, topic that we've talked about in the past, advanced glycation end products. It's really how you prepare your food. And again, each one of these we're going to go into a little bit of detail. Excess CRP, C-reactive protein, lower vitamin D3, low vitamin K2. That being said, let's just pop into the first one. Again, cholesterol is needed for your cellular health. It's needed in cellular health, particularly when you start looking at sunshine. It comes through your brain, down your spinal column, gets into your bloodstream, goes to all of your cells in your body. that is where the cellular health begins. But you have to have the cholesterol in order to help convert the UV rays, not the IR. The IR will get to right to the cellular health from one direction, but the UV rays will get to your skin. Then the cholesterol is one of those things that helps convert about 3 different things that happen in your skin before it starts the process down to the liver, down to the kidneys, and you actually get it into your bloodstream as vitamin D3. Stop smoking, that's a major problem for heart health. Trans fats, again, another issue. For most of us who buy stuff at the store and are pretty health conscious, we rarely see them, but they're used in a lot of products. Again, stop your AGEs, your advanced glycation end products. Vitamin D, vitamin E, should be vitamin anyway. E is 8 different molecules, and they're pretty important, each one of them. Ubiquinol, we talked about that, CoQ10. But on top of all that, the main thing is if you have balanced nutrition, you're not deficient in anything, chances are your overall health is going to be far better than not. Hypertension. Back when I was flying in the military, I had a certain maximum weight I could be at. And if I got close to it, my blood pressure went up because my weight or my exercise. If I exercised 2 weeks before my annual physical, flight physical, no problem. If I lost down below 184, no problem. But as we get older, things don't work as quickly or as fast. My exercise routines now are not what they used to be. My weight issues today are not what they used to be. What used to be super simple for me prior to May of this year when I came down with shingles or June. I had 6 months of absolute terror, about 10 weeks of just super unrealistic pain. But again, that's all over. But the things happen to us, and what used to work easy doesn't work anymore. So if you used to be able to lose 2 or 3 or 4 pounds pretty easily and you can't do that now, things change in our lives. Some medicines cause hypertension, high blood pressure, kidney imbalance causes a problem. Lots and lots of things cause it. It's like a headache. What causes a headache? Heaven only knows, just so many different things. What options do we have? A lot. Again, balanced nutrition. Your magnesium, your vitamin D3, your fish oil, your calcium, the ubiquinone, the CoQ10, vitamin K, reducing sugar and carbs. That's a big, big deal with regard to hypertension, is cutting way, way, way back on the well below 40 grams a day. Vitamin C, grapeseed oil helps, garlic helps a lot. EGCG is epigallocatechin gallate. It's a catechin that's contained in green tea, but there's a lot of catechins there, but the EGCG is the main workhorse in regards to that. And with visceral fat, turns out that green tea is also a major one when you add duckweed to it or something like that, but that's a topic for another discussion. But just bringing in little things that pop in my mind. Okay, elevated triglycerides. Probably the fastest way to see something like that is you start eating something with a lot of excess glucose in it. So if most of your Christmas is full of sugar, fructose, this, that, and whatever, expect your triglycerides to go up. If you're over imbibing alcohol, expect your triglycerides to go up. They're going to tell you it's not caused by fat, but the low fat is one of the recommendations a lot of people make. You just get off of the carbohydrates, moderate your alcohol, watch how your food is cooked. You don't want anything fried, grilled, you don't want it blackened. But again, it's not what is there, it's how much. So niacin, the options you have is niacin. It's actually a pretty good option for triglycerides. Green tea, mentioned that one earlier. Fish oil, fiber, soluble fiber. Alpha glucosidase inhibitors and alpha amylase. Well, the glucosidase are inhibitors that you get in your foods that you eat, and as your body is processing the glucose as the sugar turns into glucose in the body, these inhibitors actually grab a hold of that sugar molecule and don't allow it to be digested properly. So you're essentially taking that sugar and not allowing it to happen. Same thing with the alpha amylase. There are certain foods there that will, in the gut, bind to the proteins that cause that absorption. So you're looking at two different ways of stopping absorption of sugar. And they have some level of side effects, so just don't jump in there and do something. A lot of information available. Look at it, read it, maybe do a little video on it, YouTube. But also understand that, you know, if one of the side effects is diarrhea, yeah, it's going to give you that. So just beware. Excess homocysteine. This is one of the blood tests that I have done every year at my annual physical. And I think it's a pretty good test. Literally every year I'm pretty much within the norm, but it varies a little bit. But if I'm deficient in vitamin B 6, 9, 12, those vitamins control the amount of homocysteine produced. And as such, if you're deficient in that, boom, you're going to have problems. But when you have too much homocysteine, it increases the risk of having plaque formation inside your arteries and valves. It increases your overall cardiovascular risk, increases your risk of Alzheimer's, depression. What options do we have? Well, zinc, B6, B9, B12. Those are the three primary B vitamins. Now, the B12 is a cobalamin. If you buy it in a pill and it doesn't go under your tongue and dissolve, it's the wrong B12. Make sure it's the one that goes under your tongue. It's a methylcobalamin, not a cyanocobalamin, which is on the outside of the label. TMG, trimethylglycine. Again, a methylating agent that helps in many, many regards. Balanced nutrition takes care of a lot of things. Okay, CRP, one of my favorite blood tests. CRP is a protein, C-reactive protein, that when we have something wrong with the body, illness, infection, increased inflammation, injury, trauma, our CRP goes up. You can get a CRP test. It's pretty simple. It's a blood test. It doesn't cost very much, but it'll tell you what your overall inflation is and your inflammation is in your body, but it won't tell you where. So if it's high and it stays high, you need to talk to your doctor about it because something's going on. Depending on what your family history is, your own history, there are some places to start looking. Again, AGEs cause inflammatory oxidative responses in the body. Avoid them, reduce them. Bacon, fried chicken, blackened chicken, all those good things we love to eat, moderation. Wheat, grain, again, inflammatory thing. Increase our fish oil is an option. Curcumin, if you're going to take curcumin, make sure it has black pepper extract, piperine. It makes it 1,000% more bioavailable in the body. CoQ10, ubiquinone rather than ubiquinol, gets into the body faster and more of it. Vitamin D3, the green tea, the epigallocate, catechine gallate, the EGCG, and increasing your soluble fiber helps our gut biome work a whole lot better and reduce a little bit of that inflammation. Okay, insufficient vitamin D3. We're not getting out in the sunshine, and that's so much happens. A lot of issues there with the sunshine. Hits the skin, 3 different operations happen. We talked about it last week, and it ends up in the liver, it ends up in the kidney, and then boom, you have vitamin D3 in the rest of your body. But when we don't have it, and many, many, many people in the United States are very, very deficient in vitamin D3. We wear long sleeves, we wear a hat, we wear sunblock, we don't go outside in the middle of the day. Lots of reasons for having low vitamin D3. But that's a direct relationship between sunshine and our skin. The color of our skin, our age, other diseases we have, so many things there. But there are a lot of cardiovascular diseases that are associated with insufficient vitamin D3. It increases our mortality risk, increases stroke. We can supplement with vitamin D3. I take, generally speaking, 10,000 in the summer, 20,000 I use in the winter. They now have a new measurement. I'm not as familiar with it. But if you look at, to draw a line across the U.S., MS is a disease, autoimmune disease, that really and truly has correlation with vitamin D deficiency. You get in the upper latitudes, much higher rates of MS than you do in southern latitudes. Vitamin K2. When we want to add calcium to our bones, we need an absorbable kind of calcium. We need magnesium. It gets into our stomach. It's absorbable. As it's leaving the stomach, it's looking for vitamin D3. We get that D3, pulls it out of the duodenum, gets it into our bloodstream. If I don't have enough vitamin K2, it's going to end up as plaque in my heart valves and arteries. If I have enough vitamin K2, it's going to go straight to my bones and my teeth. So insufficiency in vitamin K2 can be a major problem with plaque in the heart. You get vitamin K1 from leafy greens. Our body will convert some amount of that. You get vitamin K2 from fermented foods and some other sources. But vitamin K2 is the main one we need to look at. If you're buying it, typically you'll see MK7, MK4. MK4 is the workhorse. That's the one you really need. That's the one that's working immediately. The MK7 works over time. Excess AGEs, the advanced glycation end products. Sugar binds to proteins, become very, very difficult, affects every cell in the body. Major health issue, stroke, cardiovascular risk. But we get it from our food choices, the way we prepare our food. It increases the oxidative stress. So fructose, major problem with AGEs. Increase our zinc, our vitamin C, carnosine, and our cooking methods. Avoid fried if at all possible. Okay, let's talk about some other things that are out there. I thought it was pretty interesting that if you're just looking for heart health, you're not going to see a lot of this stuff. But when I start doing what about this? What about that? Near infrared, okay. We have 3 different bands of infrared light. Near infrared is the lower end, 610 I think is the lower frequency. But as you start getting into the infrared and others, that infrared lamp, good Christmas present by the way, can help you in so many different ways, improving your cellular health, whether it's your heart cells or otherwise. Oxalates are in a lot of good fruits that we eat, but sometimes our body has a problem with controlling that, especially if you have any kidney issues. Same thing with uric acid. We get them from a lot of good foods, but if there's something wrong, a genetic issue, a medicine we're taking, the amount of food we're eating, our body doesn't process them properly, we end up with higher levels. Over time can be a problem. So those are things to be aware of. Pranayamas, it's not the meditation one, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's a breathing exercise. So look at breathing exercises under YouTube. Lots of them there. They help your heart. You're getting a lot of good oxygen in there. Autophagy, fasting takes about 18 hours, 15 hours for autophagy to begin. That's where your body goes in and cleans out every single cell of all the trash and garbage and junk that's in there, recycles the stuff it can, gives you back into the cell. So autophagy is something you need to look at periodically. Prior to June, I was doing a 3-day fast, 72-hour every month. A lot of times turned into a lot more than that. I think I did 2 11-day fasts last Easter, Lent. But the fasting does so many good things for the body. Reduce your stress, again, a major problem with heart issues. Okay, visceral fat. The fat around your gut is not near as dangerous to your heart as the visceral fat that's around your liver and your kidneys and your heart and every other organ in the body. That is the fat that really and truly needs to be removed. And I'm very, very serious. You want to reduce a lot of health issues, remove your visceral fat. Improve the quality of your sleep. Nitrites, and a lot of things can be a problem. About 4 years ago, I guess beginning of COVID, I started buying bacon that had no nitrates in there, nitrites, and can't tell the difference. It's just a different way of processing it, one less toxin to put in the body. Monitor your hypertension. That's something easy to do. We want to know what it is. If you're keeping a record, now you can go talk to your doctor about it. Remove your toxins, read labels, know what's there. Interestingly enough, some kinds of music actually help our heart condition, classical rather than rock and roll. There's a lot of different things that treat cancer, treat other kinds of health issues with music. So Google music and whatever medical condition you have, you'd be amazed. Now, we were told for years that our heart doesn't have stem cells. The cells live the whole life. They are total from birth to death. But that's not true. Lately, they found out that, we do have stem cells that go in and specifically work on the cardiovascular muscle cells, which is super critical because our normal stem cells replace everything else in the body. But the cardiovascular ones, we didn't know much about until literally recently. But if you like dark chocolate, start getting over 75, 80% dark chocolate, that's an automatic switch to turn on that stem cell production in your body. Autogenic therapy, it's how you talk to your body. If you're doing relaxation therapy where you're concentrating on relaxing the muscles in the body, a good way to improve your heart health is by doing autogenic therapy. A lot of videos on that, lots of information. Vitamin mineral deficiencies, again, all those vitamins that I have, minerals listed there, the vitamin D, B12, calcium, vitamin E, vitamin K, C, B9, magnesium, iron, and vitamin A. All of those create problems with our heart health. So if you don't do anything else, look at what you can do to balance your nutrition, whether it be with the food you eat and combination of supplements. Those are things that are true. If you look at something for 2025, balance your nutrition is probably be on the top of my list. And your pH balance in your body. Once you start getting outside the normal range, there's problems. So what would I do? Regular checkups, balanced nutrition, a bit more exercise than I'm doing now, a bit more stress management than I'm doing now, and always try to improve the quality of my sleep. So with that being said, I can be found at red.olaughlin.com. That's REDOLAUGHLIN.com. All my books are there, my contact information, again, red.olaughlin.com. Merry Christmas, y'all. Happy New Year. I look forward to seeing you on the day after Christmas, and we'll go from there. So take care, y'all. Bye now.